Give your life to
Zero
Jesus.
sanctification.
They don't know. This is brand new.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Permission Slips. This is a conversation-style podcast where we sit down with friends, leaders, people who are doing wild things for God, in the hopes that these conversations would serve as permission slips for you to go do the crazy God thing. Sitting down with my homie Christophe.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna jump in, bro. I would love to just hear a little bit about your testimony, how you got where you're at, how you met Jesus. Can you give me like a quick snapshot of that?
Sure. So the crazy thing is I have amazing parents, amazing family, but I didn't grow up hearing about God. Church wasn't a thing. And, in science class, they're teaching us that we have just evolved from bacteria. So then the natural outcome from that is, well, we're going to just live then like survival of the fittest, right? You're going to live like an animal if you are an animal. And to snapshot of what ended up happening is one of my close friends ended up getting his throat slit. One did time in jail for a murder case. One did time in jail for selling a lot of cocaine, a lot of guns. Like, just a picture like where that road, goes. But thankfully, my mom did give her life to the Lord and started praying. And I ended up having 3 cinematic dreams, and that's how the Lord got a hold of me. Actually, like 6 months after that, then one of my big homies, he was on 18 charges facing penitentiary time, calls me and he says, I want you to introduce me to this Jesus that changed your life.
Whoa.
He gave his life to the Lord, but he's brand new. He doesn't know. So that afternoon, after giving his life to Jesus in the morning service, he's smoking a blunt with my other friend in the afternoon. And he's like, bro, I got saved this morning, bro. He's like, you gotta come and get saved. They have a night service tonight. You gotta give your life to
Zero
Jesus.
sanctification.
They don't know. This is brand new. And so I come to that night service, and there was a whole row filled with my friends and some of their siblings and stuff, and a bunch of them gave their lives to the Lord. And it's fun because we went from little kid doing paper routes and everything together to running the streets and getting crazy to now, then just kingdom activity.
And where'd you grow up?
So this is outside of Toronto in B6. Shout out B6. I was calling it B6 before everyone else was calling it 6.
Okay.
That's documented. Pull up the clip. All right, carry on.
Insert the clip. So you get saved and then straight into, I'm going to tell my friends about it.
You know what, Nate? It was kind of crazy. This is for somebody listening right now. I didn't necessarily think I'm going to tell them about it. My biggest thing was just trying to one day at a time, figure this thing out. It was new. I didn't know anyone else from that I knew that had gone that path. Nobody.
Yeah.
I thought it was and I was lonely, so my biggest thing was just trying to just live in this journey with the Lord. But there was something where I had to up front tell them, if I'm honest, I was gonna move because I didn't think it was sustainable to still live in the same community but be in the world and not of it. So I'm getting the dreams, and I told my auntie where I was at when I was having the dreams, and said, yeah, I'm gonna have to move if I'm gonna adjust and take this thing seriously. And she's like, you don't have to move. And I'm like, oh, Aunt Nancy, you don't know my friends. She looks at me. She goes, James 4:4, friend of the world is an enemy of God. You don't know my God yet.
Whoa.
And so then I go back, and all my close friends and some of the girls I was talking to, I had to call them one by one and tell them straight up, I love you guys. Well, not to the girls, but to the homies. And I was like, so if you want to, if you ever want to kick it, I'm here, but I can't go out like we used to because I'm trying to pursue a relationship with God. I think that was really important to be upfront with not to just ghost them.
Yeah.
And especially because of loyalty, you can't really just ghost, especially still living, it's just, So then I remember even just making a stand, and if there was a big event or someone's birthday where just out of honor, just to literally go and say, hey, I'm not coming to the party because I'm trying to pursue a relationship with God. Literally show up in the driveway. They come out, dap me up. Hey, I'm not coming to this party because.
Dang.
And I can't help but think that, well, they told me after that was like, it was saying a lot without, saying.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what to say. I'm brand new to this thing. Right. And then, so when he was in the crunch, he was able to call me up. And that was huge, because now looking back, I think the trap would have been to try to go back maybe and be like a witness as like a, like a brand newborn, and not being able to swim upstream and, eventually get dragged back down.
That's what I did.
This is for you. So, but I think what the friends are looking for is something set apart.
Yeah.
They're looking for something real. Yeah. Something that's authentic, not something that looks like them. And I think like the trap is, well, I gotta go and be a witness. And bro, I think the best witness is authenticity.
Yeah, totally. And I think even like holiness is attractive.
That's a bar.
Like holiness is so attractive. To live differently to people who are, like, I remember the first night I was in Kona, I'm still like, I had drugs in my bag, like hadn't been saved yet.
You flew to Kona?
Yeah, I was there like a week before my DTS.
But you flew?
Yeah.
With drugs in your bag?
Yeah, not like, I'm not talking like cocaine, like I had like weed and stuff that I had brought.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you can fly with like little things.
True.
But I remember looking out at the crowd, and I grew up in like basically a cessationalist church. Like nobody ever talked about Holy Spirit, anything. And I remember showing up and seeing this crowd of people like in real worship. And I was like, dang, I want that. Like, I don't know what it is, but I really want that.
That's the Most High.
Yeah. yeah, for sure. But I think that's
real.
so
They're
key.
Tapped in.
What was like...
Finish?
I was going to ask you, like, you get saved and you automatically have this mentality of, oh, things have to change now, which I think is more uncommon than maybe people realize. Like, I think even my mentality was, I would take the verse so out of context of, like, be all things to all people, and that was, like, my excuse to be at the parties. But you have this salvation encounter, and instantly you're like, oh, like things have to change.
Yeah, that's a great question, bro. I've actually never thought about, but I'm getting revelation right now off of that question.
Let's go.
Real time. Is because the dreams I was having were so violent. They were exposing. It was like the Matrix, and I literally saw like war happening.
Whoa.
But it was in the unseen realm, and the dude was like blinded, and I'm trying to warn him, don't you see this war? And he was just like, you know what I mean? Still plugged into the Matrix, so to speak, like blinded to not see the real world, which is the spiritual world.
Yeah.
So I already, in my mind, knew what was from my, like, coming in to the journey. I knew what time it was. So, yeah, and I think maybe God speaks to us in languages that we understand.
Yeah.
Like, to the fisherman, he did the miracle of the fish. To the magi, he spoke in a star. Like, he knows your language, right? So for me, I understood, like, okay, there's two sides. What side are you on? And it was crazy because I think then with that, it's my big homie Smith, he's now been a missionary in the Philippines for over 15 years. They're helping rescue people out of human trafficking, planting churches out of Southeast Asia.
Let's go.
Married a Filipina, speaks the language. And my other friend's still rolling deep with the Lord. And we're all so close. Actually, the newspaper in our hometown, B6, it's Brantford's Six Nations. So it's one of the largest First Nations reserves in North America. So 6 indigenous people groups, so they call it Six Nations. And then so Brantford, Six Nations, B6. But so when the Expositor did a front page newspaper article on Smith, and I forget the title. Maybe I don't know how deep your editing team is, but pull it up. But it's something like gangster to like gospel minister or
Let's
something.
go.
And then, like, if I remember correctly, it starts off by saying this is not the first time Jeffrey Smith has been in this newspaper, but last time it was in the in crime section.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Now he's front lines.
Now he's front lines for the kingdom, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's powerful to see, and I think for a lot of men, dude. Let me shout out you guys on your content media team with that. Where the men at admission, dude. No, what? And it's me and Steve. Oh my god, bro! I watched that so many times, just dying, dude.
So funny,
bruh. Okay, so and fun fact, I think it worked because in the school now, there's dudes.
There's dudes.
Men, where you at? But I think men are looking for that like frontline, call to action.
We're made for it.
We're literally designed for it.
Totally.
We don't want an expression of the kingdom that's like just come and be a spectator and clap your hands. We wanna have efficacy. We wanna affect change. And so I think I think you guys are helping re-pioneer that reality for the missions movement.
Yeah,
keep putting it out there. We need to remix it. We need a sequel to that video, man, because it's working.
Run it back.
Yes.
Too funny. Yeah, so good. I want to get in a little bit to like how you got into missions.
Yep.
It kind of sounds like from the day you got saved, you were like missional. Mm-hmm. But then you at some point made like a hard decision, like I'm going to commit to missions full time. And now you're living in the foreign field with your family.
Yeah.
Not going to say where. It's a secret. Not super. But I want to hear a little bit about like how that happened, how you went from being in like a missional lifestyle to, okay, I'm going to be full-time missions.
Yeah.
Least reached, unreached.
Yeah. That's a great question too, bro. Well, I think call early on. It helps when there's like clarity. So one of the names for God is Jehovah Nissi. I know your Bible. Do you know what I mean? Bro,
yes.
What?
No.
Okay. It means the Lord is my banner.
Okay.
And so, like, in the same way with military, they would have their banner to who they're with, all the way down to their platoon, and then even in the platoon, like their assignment within that squad. And you still see it in military to this day, like the nation or the patch on the sleeve, and then all the way down to like, are you Army, Marines, Air Force, Navy, and then the insignias go on from there for the banner. So Jehovah Nissi, the Lord is my banner. It helped that he spoke a very clear banner word over my life early on into the journey, and I knew I was called to full-time ministry. Yeah. But still, even within full-time ministry, there's like so many things that you can do, or what that looks like. But you can't steer a parked car, so just starting to make steps towards
that's good,
right? Getting equipped. Okay, well, if I'm called a full-time ministry, I probably should have some Bible, or I should probably have something that I can give on the journey. And thankfully, I found the University of the Nations. I didn't know that it was a whole missions movement at the time. I just thought it was a Bible school that you get to help the poor, which is amazing. Yeah. Like, what? You get to go and live this out as part of your training. So then from there, getting introduced to the missions movement and having a call. So even from like pastoring and doing like missional communities and house church expressions and serving in strikes, like with short-term missions and training and sending, there's always this longing to be full-time front lines. And we know the Great Commission is to go to every people group, but it's kind of wild because only 3% of the world's missionaries go to the unreached. Unreached basically just means that they don't have access to a church or a Bible, right? Yeah. And so if somebody were to have a dream tonight of the man in white, fire in his eyes, I'm Jesus, I'm your salvation, in the morning, would they be able to find a church?
Yeah.
Hey, who is this Jesus? He just showed up to me. Or can I get a Bible? Can I read it for myself? Can I, so there's this great commission in scripture that's that's like constantly calling me, and we're living it out, and we're singing these songs, and the whole time it's building and it's growing, and so many conversations with my wife, and Lord, release us, but then it's so hard because you love so many countries, there's so many people groups, how do you choose?
Yeah.
And so after like 20 years in ministry, bro, and being like, wait a second, my life is going by so fast and it's so easy. Like all these other great opportunities are coming, and like, how do you say no to them? But, kids, oh, now you got kids. Now, okay, wait, but they're in school. But you can't uproot your kids. Like, you don't want to mess them up and make them bitter to God or like. But then I realized, like, wait a second, there's always some reason.
Yeah.
Why it's not convenient to go. That's why there's only 3% of the world's missionaries amongst the unreached.
It's super inconvenient.
There's never going to be a convenient time.
Well, the gospel is super inconvenient.
In it itself is already. You know what I mean? And I think the unreached are still the unreached because they're challenging.
Yeah.
The other places have already been taken. They have access. So it was fascinating, bro, because the Lord, he speaks to us in ways that we can comprehend, And I remember having that same overwhelming feeling of like, how do I choose? When I first came into to school, I'm in Kona, and I was like, because I was thinking, in my home church, finding my wife, it was like finding a diamond in the rough.
Right.
If it's hard, but when you see it, you'll know. Because at least in my local church, in my small spot, it wasn't that many options. We're not, you know what I mean? So it was like a diamond in the rough. Hard, but when you see it, I got into campus and I was like, oh my goodness, they're everywhere.
Diamonds and diamonds.
Diamonds and diamonds, bro. How do you find a diamond in a mountain of diamonds? So then I was like, oh no. But the Lord spoke peace to be in that, and he's like, no, just keep your eyes on me, and because if you try to go through it, it's impossible and it's stress,
Yeah.
But it sounds kind of corny and cliche, but it's so true that if you really are locked in with him, that he brings it in time, and it's like undeniable.
Yeah.
So now fast forward, he's like, I'll do the same thing with you with the nation. Okay. Because I love all the nations. We're doing projects in so many nations, right?
And you've been to
50 nations, you know what I mean? And but he said it'll be the same way. Just trust. And with my wife, I remember, again, this is more of like an old school thing, but we used to tell people like write down what you're looking for. So it helps narrow, you're not going to like settle or compromise or just be like tripped out. So we did that. My wife and I, we went down by the water, and we just took a piece of paper and we're like, hey, what are we looking for in the nation that we're going to? Dang. And there was like some things, and they're the desires of your heart because he put them in there, I believe.
What were some of those kind of characteristics?
So for us, it was like we wanted to be in a city where we could see youth movement. We wanted to be in a place where the Holy Spirit was already moving for movement. We wanted to be in a place preferably that had a French element because, our family already speaks French.
Yeah.
We were looking for a place that was not Christian. So it was unreached.
Yeah.
And there was some other things.
That's awesome.
I think, if I'm being real, and maybe this is for someone too, but we were like somewhere that's by the water. Because our kids are like island kids.
Yeah.
They like the water. So put it on your list.
Yeah.
And then so from that list that we came to, which doesn't seem super spiritual.
Right.
It seems very just like, oh, well, if I had that tool and I thought, we can just sit down and see what comes up. Like, what are the desires in your heart for the place that you would want to go to?
Yeah.
And then, so from that, like those filters, I guess, we had a short list of nations. Like a real short list of nations.
Then you can start kind of...
And then you could start saying, okay, I'm going to take like trips to those.
Yeah.
So I got invited Then shortly after, and it's funny, right? You can't steer a parked car. So I don't know, maybe that little faith step.
Yeah.
Then next thing I know, I get invited to come and speak in that, like our number one nation that was on our list, on our short list. So I go down to speak, but they don't know I'm actually there, like, to scout it out. And oh my gosh, dude.
Take me to the spots.
Bruv. So like literally day one, Monday, I get there, walk into class, dap up one of the students, you know what I mean? Let's get ready. What's up, man? What's your name? Muhammad. Amazing. Where you from? He says some crazy nation. I'm like, that's amazing. How did you come to know Jesus? He goes, well, someone came. I think it was like someone from our movement, shared the gospel with him. And he's like, sorry, it's not for me. I'm from a different faith.
Yeah.
But then Jesus showed up and confirmed everything in real life. And he's like, that's how I'm here.
Gosh.
It's like so then his parents, siblings, they all like gave their lives to the Lord.
It's like they say they met Jesus and they mean like they literally physically met Jesus. I met people in North Africa.
Yes.
That was their testimony. They're like,
yes.
I literally met like.
Oh yeah. So how I met Jesus? Let me tell you.
I shook hands with him.
Yo, he hugged me.
Yeah.
So, bam. That was literally like my first day one encounter, and I was like, oh my goodness. There were so many wild stories, but then I think I took the students out one day, like on the streets, just to share the gospel, and like people were getting saved downtown, dude. Downtown, people were getting healed like crazy, and I was like, whoa. This was in like 45 minutes or like an hour or something of the one window that we had, and I was like, whoa. And then all the other things, it just kind of fit, those desires that he put in our heart. So before I even got back home, I called my wife, in the airport. I was like, you're not going to believe it. And I just started telling her everything.
That's so
and
good.
But then comes the move, because now you're going to leave everything. You have to sell all, whatever you have. Say goodbye to the amazing squad of friends that you have, the mentors, whatever, all the other ministry that and actually send it. But again, can't steer a parked car. I think the next, important thing is telling the ones close to us, hey, this is what the Lord is speaking. Because now there's accountability.
Yeah.
And I even told them, I'm like, yo, if I'm still here in 2 years, it's sin.
Yeah. Dang.
Rebuke me.
Whoa.
So inviting accountability.
Yeah. That's so good. Even like having the people around you that can call you into that is so good. I love what you're saying about movement. Like you just keep moving.
Right.
The whole thing just has to be like a continuous, following God means you're in constant motion because he's always moving, so it's like that continuous. You can't steer a parked car. That's such a good,
facts, dude. Yeah.
Such a good line, dude. Okay. I love your whole testimony. Like you grew up in a great family, didn't know Jesus, met him, had a life-changing transformation. Immediately you're like in a missional lifestyle. You're like, okay, my life has to look different. Things have to change in my life. You get sent into missions. You're now living long-term in the nations. You have been like a massive inspiration to me the years that I've known you. It's been so fun. Like I love getting to hear you teach and Rev and Ref and like all of the little moments that we've had. I think your whole story is like so inspirational for our generation.
Thanks, bro.
Especially just like keep moving. Like don't take your foot off the gas. Keep moving. Keep following Jesus. I want to ask you like one last question. If you could give a permission slip to our generation, what would it be?
I would say send it and go full time to the unreached. Let's change these numbers. We can. Like Gen Z is the most active generation in like probably ever in church history.
Yeah.
That's what the data is saying. Like before you guys, it was like the average was like 10% of Christians share their faith. Now it's 65%. What are we doing? And there's there's increasingly, because of like technology, we can see where the unreached are. And with collaboration and everything that's happening in all the movements and the churches working together, we could really see the Great Commission fulfilled in our lifetime. And this might be that generation that's like designed for action.
Let's go.
You guys are designed for action.
Yeah.
So yes, there's a cost. Yes, it's hard. But I would say Jesus is totally worth it. Whatever that is. And I would say this life is really just a blink of an eye compared to eternity. So we're not going to regret spending it on him.
Yeah. So good. Send it. Go to the nations.
See you on the field.
Let's go.